streaming service. Oh, good. It did. It did work. I always wonder if I always do that. Jim, are you burning your paramotor in the background? Is that what it looks like? Looks like he's.
No, I had a fir tree fall down, so I got to clean it up.
Oh, okay. Sure looks like you are burning a paramotor in the background there.
No, no, that'd be sacrilege.
It would be. It'd be horrible. Um,
Don't
well,
burn the neighborhood down, okay? We don't need to see you on the news.
no, definitely not. We are season 3, episode 132. We decided to do a show today talking about where can we find really good deals on paramotors and wings and stuff like that, because I don't know about you guys, but when I first started, I wanted to buy a a wing that was not used. I want to buy a brand new wing because that's what keeps me up there. A paramotor, I'll work on it and I'll try to get it running and stuff like that. I wasn't really caring about a brand new paramotor, but I wanted a brand new wing. And I found a very used paramotor, and for $3,000 back in the day, it was a good deal. I put about $500 into it, put a new carburetor on it, and $100 maintenance, and it was freaking awesome. It had a Moster 185 Classic, one without the clutch. Most powerful machine I've flown to date. Well, no, not to date, because I went out and I found a $3,000 paramotor and a wing, and that was a Blackhawk 220, and let me tell you, the thrust on that, I cannot wait to take that up for a spin and check to see how well that wing actually works. But anyway, this is going to be a great show. Welcome everybody. My name is Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. We got Will Fly in the chat and the panel tonight. I guess if you have a question, just make sure that you get up with Will. Also, we got Jim from Canada. Looks like he's burning something out there. Hope it's not his paramotor.
It looked like a scene from Breaking Bad or something.
I know, right?
I know, right? We also got our Linda Anderson, our
Hi, everybody.
our PPG PR girl. Where's your pom poms?
I forgot they're back there.
Oh
I have to go grab them.
no!
I know. Well, I guess I was thinking because we didn't actually have a guest tonight. I usually bring it out.
That's all right. One time in 3 years that you forget.
I know.
That's okay. So tonight is going down in momentous history of no pom poms.
No pom-poms.
No pom poms. So let's see. Who do we have in the chat tonight? Real quick. I guess we'll take a look and see who's in the chat. Let me get back over here. We got a bunch of people. We got Tony Marzano. What's up? We got
Tony,
John Lane.
come on the Zoom with us.
Copay J.
Tony, you heard Paramount says, come on the Zoom.
Never trust a skinny chef Shane.
You
Hey,
and
Shane,
Angela.
look at how many people we have on here. We don't have very much, and it's always good to have another person on here. So if you want to, Shane, jump on. You're more than welcome to, because we need a comic. We've been missing the comics, and he's a comic.
Right.
We also got Kenneth Kidwell in the chat. Welcome. Glad that you made it here. Flying Flamingo Jade.
Yay.
Tommy Sutherland. Didn't we just talk? When we were just talking about him? I guess Tommy has had his ears burning because we were talking about Tommy Sutherland. We also got Mark McElroy from ParalifePPG.com. I heard that he got a heck of a deal also. So I think that he's going to jump on and tell us his amazing deals. So let's see. Now, Will Fly, he bought everything brand new. Is that correct?
Yep, everything brand new.
And
I've sold some used equipment,
Mhm.
of course, but never purchased anything used.
Is there a reason for that?
No, I guess, well, yes, the reason would be my experience, of what to buy and what to look for in used equipment was like zero.
Mhm.
So I just opted, to buy all brand new stuff and then bypass that potential fatal mistake, um, from the get-go. Now's a little different. I would feel more comfortable purchasing used gear than when I first started.
When you, let's say that you are going to be looking for some used gear, what exactly would you look for personally? And after you tell me what you would look for on both a motor and a wing, I guess we can do both. I'll tell you what I'm looking for also.
The first thing I would look for would be the reputation of the person I'm buying it from. And in other words, if I know the person personally, he's a stand-up person, she's a stand-up person, then that carries a lot of weight and if with me. So I'd start there. And if I didn't know the person and I was still interested, I would ask around people that I know, if they know this person or whatever. I've heard some nightmares of, things being purchased that weren't quite as described. Just like anything you buy used, buyer beware. But I would start there. And then the other thing is because even now, I mean, I'm going on 3 years in the sport. Even now, if I were to buy a used motor, um, I would have somebody else who's better at motor stuff look at it. And that would be my mechanic, the guy that works on my own paramotor. I'd use every available resource I had if I was really, really interested in purchasing something. If it was a wing, I'd pretty much want it sent off for an inspection or see the inspection report.
I agree with you on the inspection report. Now you have all of your motor maintenance done by your mechanic, right?
Yes,
So
I do.
you would have your mechanic go to this wherever or talk with whomever that has the paramotor, and you'd have him ask the questions.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, there's one of those guys in every group, a guy who's just like super mechanically inclined and can work on that stuff in their sleep. And so just use your own resources and there's some good deals out there. I guarantee it because I hear about them all the time and I'm never a recipient of them. But it's just like here's another thing. When I sell something used, I I throw everything I know about that motor, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and I make sure that the person that's buying it uh, understands that this is not a brand new motor. It's not a brand new wing. I mean, this is what it is, and I try to price it accordingly. So, yeah,
Are you talking about your equipment that you put up for sale?
yes, yeah, whether it's a wing or a motor or whatever, because I price it less usually because I would rather someone be pleasantly surprised than than to be disappointed.
That's that's a very awesome thought about selling something. Now, before we get into this a little bit more, one of the things I would like to tell you and everyone that's listening right now is the scams that they have where people that don't fly, they buy paramotors, used paramotors, really super cheap, maybe on Marketplace, on Facebook, off of eBay, but they find really cheap junk. And then what they do is they bring it back to their house or their whatever, and they weld up stuff, they repaint things, and they make it look a lot more new than it really is. And then they put it back on eBay for a premium. So it's very possible that if you are finding something on eBay and you are not a current pilot that's flying gear, or you haven't gone through school and learned what to look for, it's going to be very easy to dupe somebody that doesn't know what they don't know what to look for when it comes to paramotors. And I just recently, within this last year, found out about this scam that actually it could be 2 years ago. I can't remember, because one of my students came in with this paramotor and a wing that he got off of Amazon, no, off of eBay, and he tried to fly it a couple times and it didn't work. He had to put on. It was totally rigged the wrong way. I mean, the kill switch didn't work, so he had to he put something on the spark plug or something, so he'd have to like pull a switch or something to kill it.
There's a
The,
string that he pulls when he's ready to kill the motor.
it was just, I mean, it's just horrible. And he tried to self-train on it and broke four props. So he was out, $2,000 in props, not including all the money that he put into this equipment. And the wing was way too big. But he got it for a good deal. And the paramotor was junk, but he got it for a good deal. And I hear about this all the time, all these really good deals that people are getting, but they are not good. I was going to say death trap, but I'm not going to say death. They were not good. They were not good paramotors or wings. They were 10 or 20 years old. And if you fly a Moster 185 or an Atom 80 and you put that on your back, you kind of got an idea of what a Moster 185 feels like, or a Atom 80, right? So you kind of know what it feels like. Well, these older machines, they feel like I'm putting two Moster 185s on my back. They are so incredibly heavy. Um, Older machines, I don't think are a really good deal. The wings, I had a bunch of different wings that came to my school that people wanted to learn how to kite before they came to school. So they bought, anything from $100 to $1,500 or more on a wing that is junk. 20-year-old wing, like an old tandem wing. Have you ever had the opportunity of trying to kite a wing that's like a 30 meter or bigger?
Not 30, probably 28, I think was the biggest. I
Was it
want
a
to say
was it a newer wing?
no, it was an older wing and it was a dog. Matter of fact, it was I just did that at the last fly-in here. And yeah, you can just a major difference in a couple of years. It makes a major difference in wing development, and design, R&D, all that stuff. It's come a long way. And so I've got some ideas also of where, when you get to that, of where to buy, or where I think would be a good place to buy used gear.
Absolutely. When is Mark McElroy going to jump on? Did he say? Is he
He
going to?
didn't. Mark's in the chat, and hey, so is William Garland. And hey there, William. I think I saw him at Moonshiners. So for the first time, got to meet him. Come on, Mark, whenever you want to, dude.
We could do also is, since this is just a show about, where people are finding good deals and bad deals and stuff like that, we can maybe open up the Zoom for anybody that wants to jump on and tell us your story about what you got and what you would buy or what you didn't buy or what you heard somebody else buy, because holy smokes, the stuff that I found is just insane. Um, so let me go ahead and put the meeting ID real quick into the chat, and anybody that wants to jump on, we're only going to be doing this for another 45 minutes, and then we're done for the night.
Kenneth Bidwell, did you see what he posted in the chat there?
I didn't see what.
He got a Power to Fly Titan XL and an Ozone Roadster 2, a kiting harness, 3 carbon props, a gas jug, wind indicator pole. He traded his 2002 Heritage Softail Classic Harley for all of it.
Wow.
And that was a turnkey operation there, Kenneth.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I just got a bunch of stuff too. I just went to Kansas and I picked up a paramotor. It's a Black Hawk 220. It's a 2018 model, and it's a 29 meter. Dude, can't remember what it is. It's a 29 meter wing, and it looks good. All the lines look good. Everything looked good on it. But the guy that bought it was 150 pounds.
And it was
And
29 meters?
with a 29-meter wing, and it's a 220 Blackhawk, and I think that's 210 cc's. So it's massive. I mean, not massive. It's heavy. It's dense. It's really heavy. Oh, Mark is trying to jump on. I gotta let him in if he's jumping in. Yeah, Mark, if you jump in, I'll have to let you in because I turned on the waiting room since I put the information out there. Um, but yeah, for $3,000, I got a Blackhawk 220. Everything looks great. I mean, it looks like a really good, well-kept machine, and the wing looks very good. I'm not going to say crispy, but I mean, that's what everybody puts online when they want to sell a wing is crispy. So it looks like Mark is going to be jumping on here.
There he is.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He's connecting, so I don't know if he can actually hear us or not. There you are.
Hey,
What's
Mark.
up, man? You are on mute if you don't know that. He goes, oh, crap, I'm on mute. Where's the mute? He's trying to. There he is.
Yeah,
All
I've
right.
been using StreamYard, so I sure don't know anything about this anymore.
Well, Mark, good to see you, buddy. It's been a minute.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. This is like reunion time.
It really is.
Good to see y'all.
So I
love
heard
it.
that you got a better deal than me. I went out and got for $3,000. I got a Blackhawk 220 paramotor and a 29-meter wing, and it looks pretty good. They're both 2008 models. But it sounds like you got a better deal than I did. What'd you get, and how'd you get it?
Well, I haven't seen yours or know anything about yours. Mine was on Craigslist up in Virginia, and it was a 2018 Kangook Viking, brand new, never flown, the frame and harness, but it had an old RDM 100 motor, which is real old, and a power play Sting 140 wing. And this is before I went to school, before I had training or anything. But I flew up there and bought it for $1,000, brought it home, played around with the wing a little bit while I was waiting on going to school. And then I just decided I went ahead and bought all brand new gear before I ever flew. So Gavin Kidd, a buddy of mine down here in Atlanta, he actually flew it at Hodges Field.
Yeah.
And I mean, he flew it and it flew okay, but the wing was, it was almost like a cloth feel instead of a plastic feel. And it was big and lazy, but it flew.
So you actually flew it?
I didn't fly it, but my buddy Gavin did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he flew it. I went through it all, cleaned it all up, the motor and everything, repacked the exhaust, made sure it was running good. And he flew it. He flew the wing first on his own motor at my house. And then when we went down to Hodges, he actually flew the whole setup.
So you got the motor and the wing for how much?
$1,000 in Virginia. I flew up there, broke it all down, put it in a couple of suitcases and flew it home.
Wow.
So I just checked it as baggage.
I
Yep.
think that you got a better deal than I did, I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know. All I did was I just cleaned it all up real good. And then when I decided I'm not going to fly it, I'm just going to get new stuff. I put it up for sale and sold it for $3,200.
Man, that's a heck of a flip.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know what a brand new Kangook frame sells for. That was in 2019 and
Mhm.
it was a 2018 frame.
Sounds like a really good deal.
Yeah.
So do you look for any other paramotors or wings that are used? And if you do, what would you look for when you look for these things?
I wouldn't look for anything. The stuff isn't that expensive. And, for me personally, all my kids are grown. And I would just buy brand new stuff and use it, for its life expectancy, a good bit, and then dump it and just buy it again.
So what gear do you use right now, just in case people don't know?
I have a Power to Fly Titan. Now I've only been flying 2 years, so I'm no expert at any of it. But I have a Power to Fly Titan, Apco Lift EZR, Dudek Comfort Seat, and a Moster 185 Pull Start. And I mean, I bought a Pluma also. And then I just decided that I just wanted to stick with my Power to Fly. On the Pluma, I got dual start, mic super lights. It was all dolled up. And then I just decided, these things crank up usually on one pull, maybe two. So what's the sense in a battery and electric start and all the nonsense? So I kind of went back to just keeping it simple. I have Skyflar for strobe on the paramotor and PPG smoke on my helmet. So anyways, I just think now to keep it simple.
So I tried to look on Craigslist right now when you were talking, and I can't find anything as far as paramotors on Craigslist. I did search for on eBay and actually found some on eBay, and of course on Paramotor Buy and Sell USA on Facebook groups. Other than those places, where would you look to find used paramotor gear? Any other place?
I mean, for me on, there's the one or two sites online for that are specifically for paramotor gear. I would look there if I was looking for something used.
And which one was that? Where would you go?
I don't know. I just
Okay.
know that there is a site. I've seen it before that has used paramotor gear, has wings all the time on there.
Yeah, paramotor stuff for sale. You know where I
Yeah,
think
that's it.
a great place to buy used equipment would be at a fly-in. You're there, you can see it, you can meet the person. You've got people around you that I guarantee someone's gonna know about motors. And if you had any questions or whatever, they're for example, Bad Apples. Bad Apples had a lot of stuff for sale, but they also had a Facebook group about that was Bad Apples stuff for sale. So people could list the stuff that was coming up. Matter of fact, I bought a generator at Moonshiners and that was listed. But so Facebook, check the Facebook group prior to going to a fly-in and give you some ideas.
If I was new and I
Third,
was just trying to get into it, I would talk to an instructor and see if they had used equipment or some demo equipment to get, because they take good care of it. They know the stuff. And if it's older used, they've probably gone through it. Especially they're not wanting you to crash. They want you to succeed. So I would probably talk to an instructor this time. I didn't do that. I got fortunate. I got 100 hours on my unit before I burnt out my piston. And so I won, I think, but I sure wouldn't want to try that again, especially because I based the value of the item on the hours of the motor. And I found out later how easy it is to forge that.
Oh yeah, we don't have an odometer. I mean, I could say that I have only 20 hours on mine that has 1,000 hours. And if I rebuild it and I start it up, you wouldn't be able to tell. It sounds like a sounds like a champ. Runs like a champ. But
Yeah, mine has an hour meter on it, but I know how easy it is to zero it now.
well, not only that, but if you are flying a motor or you've had one for a while, sometimes the battery goes out, or sometimes it just breaks apart. And I had to
You guys,
replace mine a couple of times.
you guys don't have serial numbers and registration certificates on all of the paramotors either, do you?
No.
We
Mm-mm.
have to have them, and they include our N number or
But
C number.
you're in Canada though, and it's
Yeah.
a little bit different than the United States. So you
So
do have serial numbers. We don't.
exactly. So it's a little bit of an advantage because we have the build date on there, and it's stamped on the machine. It's not easily forged.
I think on the paramotors that I've had, they have stickers on some. They got some things that will show you a reduction, like on the Moster 185. On this one it says 2.86 or 2.8. Is it 2.86 for a reduction? Oh shit, I can't remember. 2.68. I'm sorry, 2.68 for mine, and they also got another reduction. So that's usually on the motor, but no serial numbers. Interesting. Um, Here's something also that was good that you said instructor. There's another place that you guys can go for wings if you want a good used wing. If you go to Cloud9 or these other ones that will do the yearly inspections, sometimes the person that sends in a wing they say your lines need to be replaced, $800. And they're like, I don't need that, just keep it. So what they'll do is they'll replace the lines, and then they'll recoup their money from the lines that they put on that glider and sell you a really inexpensive glider that has been inspected. So check out Cloud9 and the other places that do annual inspections for a wing.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna look them up right now. See what
It's
they
good.
got.
It's good to call too, because I think Cloud9 had a page, but it was just for the people that sent in a wing, so you couldn't just find it.
Oh,
You could probably give them a call and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a used wing. Do you have any available?" So that's something to think about too. And now that you would be really good, I think, getting a used wing from a reputable place like Cloud9 or other places that do yearly inspection on wings.
yeah, that's the key, reputable, you know,
Yes.
so. I would, there's an example, okay, I trust Sean's, I trust your opinion of Cloud9, so. That puts me, that makes me feel better about, looking at a used wing from Cloud9, so.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's all about the reputation of the person that you get the equipment from. And unfortunately, eBay, if you talk with the people, they might say that they do fly, but you don't know who they are. One of my students went on eBay and got a wing. I'm like, please don't get a wing on eBay, but he got it anyway, and it turned out to be a gem. I was very impressed. So I'm like, you did good on this one, but don't hold your breath on the next one. You never know when it comes from eBay, but he did really good. So I was
Got
very
lucky,
very
didn't
very very good, very impressed. I also got a couple other students that bought wings and motors, and when they found out that the wing or the motor was ancient, and when I say ancient, it's heavy, very heavy. We got a Nirvana as a trade-in from one of our students, because once they realized that this 125 was almost twice as much weight as a Moster 185 SkyTap Angel, which is a beast, they're like, I don't want to. Because as soon as they put on like an Animati, they're like, this is great. Why would I get something like that? I'm like, that's why you got to go to an instructor that has their own gear. The instructor says you got to buy gear. Oh, did Mark leave? Sorry, Mark. Thank you for jumping on, buddy.
Yeah, he said he's gonna, he sent me some video of that deal that he got. And I think in order to share it, I have to change my permissions or allow it or whatever, but I can't do that without quitting Zoom and logging back on. So that's what I was working on.
Oh, okay. Well, if you got some stuff that you want to share, you're more than welcome to. I should be able to put on here that you can let me make you co-host. You should be able to have everything there that I made you co-host.
We'll see if that makes a difference.
You might be able to put something on there. So I got a Nirvana Rodeo. I'm not sure what year it is, but it's a 125. It's heavy. It's a dual start, and I got that for 500 bucks. Haven't flown it yet because I need to get, I need to do a repair on it. And this one that I just got, that $3,000 one, the Blackhawk, I'm gonna have to break that down. There's oil leaking, and I'm sure it needs something. And I gotta send that wing off before I even try to fly it. All right, what do we see? What are we seeing here?
Can you see it?
I see it. What am I seeing?
Okay, so this is the deal that that Mark got for
Okay.
$1,000. So this looks like bad apples. And remember he was saying the guy flew it for him.
I turned down the volume on that. We can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
So this is the deal that Mark McElroy got for $1,000, the wing and the motor, and this is the guy flying it at Bad Apples.
Well, that looks like a really good deal.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I mean, it flies.
It does. There's proof.
Well, one of the things that we need to do, because I watched Tucker Gott's video that they went and bought that $2,500 paramotor.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, not, I mean, it flew, but for a person that's been flying for a while, so you kind of have the ability to understand what you're flying. Can you
Right.
go ahead and fly that or play it one more time?
Sure.
So Tucker Gott did a video. Yeah, I'm sure y'all have seen it. It's he bought it with his friend for $2,500. They took it out for a spin, and the vibration was so bad that the guy that was flying it, it was difficult for him to see, and had a weird swinging motion. And when I was watching it again today, I noticed that the carabiner was on a 1 or 2 inch little strap from the swing arm. So there's the swing arm, and then there's like 2 inches of strap, and then the carabiner. I think that's where all the swinging came from, because of all the ones that I've seen, the carabiner is connected on like a dog bone that's really close to the swing arm, and it's not just dangling up for 2 inches.
I've got another video, I think, but do you remember that? I had never heard of that wing before.
This wing that he was talking about?
Uh-huh.
No, there's a lot of wings that I haven't heard of either. The
My
older
Kangoo, I'm quite sure that the carabiner between the swing arm and the carabiner is probably 1.5 to 2 inches.
Well, it was a Kanguk that he bought, right? But the wing, I'd never heard of it.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the Tucker God or Mark?
The Tucker, no, we were talking about Mark's as we were watching that video.
Gotcha.
I watched that video of Tucker's too, and I remember him saying when he started it, he said, "It sounds like a paramotor."
Yep.
Must be a paramotor. See if I can find the other video here.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see exactly, and if I can pull this up and stop it at that one place where they're looking at the swing arm, I'm like, that doesn't look right. That looks like there'd be a lot of play there, and that's probably what was going on. So Tucker did that one. Is it a $2,500 paramotor worth it? Then there was another one. Somebody made their own paramotor for $99. Was that it? I think there was one that said that he made a paramotor for $99. No, it was a trike for $99. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this real quick, unless you're sharing it. Nope, no sharing. Okay. So I'm going to share this. And this is what I was talking about. So right here on the swing arm, it's connected here, but it has this big 1 to 2 inch thing strap, and then the carabiner's connected to it. So I don't know if you can actually see what I'm talking about. I mean, I just tried to find it, but do you see what I'm talking about on that swing arm?
Yeah, I see it.
So it's connected here, but then you have 2 inches and then a carabiner connected. So when he has his risers on here, you got 2 inches plus the carabiner, and then the risers start way up here. So you almost got like 3 inches above your swing arms before the risers even start. And I think that's why he was having that weird oh, there it is. I think this is it. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. You see it? Jim, did you say that your paramotor had this?
Yeah, mine does. It's very similar to that. Maybe just a little bit shorter, but not much.
Anybody else have swing arms that has something like this? Let us know in the super chat. It'd be really interesting to see who else has something like this, and does it work? Does it work well, Jim? I mean, does it have a weird swinging sensation on it, or?
No, yeah, it works great.
Okay,
As far as I know, anyway.
that's true. All right, let's check the chat real quick. Anybody say anything in the chat? Let's see.
Can you show the swaying motion that you're talking about
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
video?
absolutely.
Like
So
you said, he's got a funny swaying motion.
yeah, so let me go back to it. Let's see where it is. Hold on a second. I think I turned it off. Definitely hit the wrong button. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go back here. I'm going to share my screen. And then here this is. So this is what he has. And then let's go ahead and look. So, I mean, the machine looks good. I mean, I would look at it and go, yeah, I'd buy that for $1,200, or what was it, $2,500. That looked like a pretty good deal. And see, it's probably in the next video that he's actually flying. Yeah, so it's part 2. Let me see if I can find part 2 real quick.
Can you describe what the swaying was?
Well, he was saying that when he's flying, that it would pitch forward and backwards, or go forward and backwards. So you give it gas and it'd swing this way, let it go and swing this way, really, really more than you would normally do if you were if you're flying a regular or a newer paramotor. I don't think it had high hang points, but I think that it
That'd be more of an indicator of low hang points, huh?
well, I mean, on a swing arm, that's what everybody normally will do, is they'll have. I'm sorry, I'm kind of scrolling through to see if I can find it. All right, let me go ahead and share it again real quick and see what we can do. So here it is. We're going to share it. All right, so they went out and I have really bad internet, so this may not be a good thing for me to do while I'm doing this. So does somebody else have access to bring this up? Well, I guess I can do it now. All right, so here it is. So here he is over here. He goes, watch me. So he zoomed in. So when he, see how it swings forward and backwards? So he was trying to show it on video that he was really swinging far forward and backwards, and the risers were right there. And I think it's because of that tab. And he also said too, it's extremely, it vibrated a lot where he couldn't even see. It was causing him to have blurry eyes. So that's pretty bad.
Well, what were the conditions like? I mean, was yours
just
doing the same thing, or was it?
Just a normal day, and Tucker was flying, and he had a normal day. It was a
I
normal
wonder
flight.
if it was a thrust angle issue.
I think it was because of the way it was connected to that swing arm. I think it was. I have no idea because I don't have that in front of me, because it just looked like that's probably the reason why I was swinging back and forth. But if yours is like that, Jim, you'll have to, the next time that you get to your paramotor, you'll have to take a picture of it and text it to me so I can take a look.
James in the chat actually did some skydiving at Moonshiners. It's pretty impressive.
What?
Yeah, man, jumped out of an airplane, just crazy. But
I don't know if I'd want to jump off a perfectly good airplane.
yeah, you did a good job. He says that he's asking about the hang point. Did he do a hang point check?
I don't remember on the video if they did a hang check or not,
Okay.
but that's definitely something I always do before I get on to another paramotor. Always do a hang check. All right, what are we looking at, Will?
All right, so I know we're bouncing back and forth, but we're back to the $1,000 paramotor,
Yeah.
and this is the actual motor here. So that's the Kanguk, right? Let me turn the volume down.
That doesn't look like a bad paramotor.
No, I mean, obviously it flew for $1,000, man. There's the wing.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I won't be able to go out and fly this new one until I do a little bit of work on it and check the wing and check everything over, do a hang check and make sure that, the angle is good. Then I'm going to take it out for a spin. I'll do a video on a $3,000 paramotor and wing deal. See if it works, see if it flies, see if I fall out of the sky. That's why I always carry a reserve. Yeah, speaking of that reserve, wasn't it Keegan at Bad Apples that bought a $100 reserve and he threw it, and that's how he saved himself?
Yep.
So you can find good deals. I mean, good deals are out there.
You sure can, and it's funny you say that, because I bought a reserve from Darren Locklear, Carolina PPG, and Darren is still under my seat in my car, and I was going to hook it up or get help hooking it up at Moonshiners, but I forgot all about it. I guarantee if I needed it, I wouldn't have forgot. I wouldn't have forgot.
It would have been, oh, that's what I forgot to do today. Gotcha.
So yeah, you can still get good gear and used. It's just it's about the reputation of the person you're buying it from.
Exactly. So I'm looking on eBay. I searched for paramotors on eBay, and the first thing that popped up is a top 80, 39, almost $4,000 for it, right? Local pickup. So when we're looking at something like this, what are you looking for? Especially if you're looking online and you can't physically go there to check it out. Would you actually find a deal like this online and just have them ship it to you, or would you want to go there and look at it before you actually bit the bullet?
I would insist on seeing it. Local pickup. I mean, that just makes sense to me.
Yeah, it would have to be a stellar deal before I would just pay for it and have it shipped. Like really stellar, like $1,000 for everything.
Exactly. What was that? AliExpress? Did you see that video where that guy got that $2,000 little tiny paramotor from China? Did you watch that one?
I did. He got it working. He got it flying.
Yeah, that's the smallest little paramotor you can put in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I thought it looked kind of cute, really.
It was, and said that it was really comfortable flying too. I was impressed.
Yeah. Well, he had to do some work on that. I mean, he couldn't fly it right out of the box, so.
Yeah,
to
and
change the prop.
he did another video, and he basically did a summary of everything that the Monster 185. There's no comparison, so he would
Oh.
never do that again. Basically,
Yeah, I
it was
think he
just
changed the prop and then he also changed
The rings.
the rings. Didn't he change the exhaust too? Or do something to the
I
exhaust?
think he did something with the
yes,
exhaust.
he changed the exhaust, and he said that made the biggest difference.
Oh, was it the exhaust that made the biggest difference? That's
Yeah.
pretty neat. And I do believe that because when my Monster 185, I think it was a 19, all those muffler problems, right? It exploded and broke my prop, right? Instead of getting another Monster 185 exhaust, I got the Vortex Arrow, which is what I had on my previous Monster 185. And it gave me more power. The Vortex Arrow um, aftermarket exhaust gave me a lot more power. I was so impressed. So when I went all the way to Kentucky, which was a drive through Arkansas, through Oklahoma, I'm sorry, Kansas, up to Kansas, not Kentucky, that's the other way. I got there and I looked at it and I'm like, this looks good. I mean, it looked like a brand new paramotor. It wasn't dirty, it didn't have any oil in it, didn't see any leaks or anything. The harness looked brand new. The throttle looked like it was not the original throttle. It looked like somebody took a bicycle handle, just cut it off, and put a cable to the carburetor. And the carburetor, you know, I have that little button to push. That was broken off, so I'm gonna have to replace the carburetor for sure. But anyway, I would put it on my back, start it up. It took a little while for it to warm up, but once it did, man, the thrust that that thing had was insane, and it wasn't as loud as on my Monster 185. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be my new flyer. So I can't wait to take this one up.
Are you talking about well, I call it the little round circly button thingy that you push to prime the motor?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like when you haven't primed it in a while and you need to get some gas up there, you press that button
Yeah,
as you're priming and goes, you can hear it like,
but I mean,
releasing air.
that's like a $14 part, right? Can't you just replace the part?
I'm just going to replace the carburetor. I don't know how long it's been, there, and I don't know anything about it.
Right.
A carburetor is going to cost me about $200, 250, and I don't have to worry about a carburetor anymore.
There you go.
Or at least for 100 hours. Also has a e-start and pull start, so I'm like, this is gonna be nice.
I wish I had e-start.
You know what? I never thought when I first started flying paramotors I would need e-start, because it's like, look, one pull or two pull, just like Mark said, it's one or two pulls. But on that occasion that you're flying, that you're up in the air and your motor dies, it's like, oh shoot, it's like you got to do something, and you turn on that motor, or turn on the e-start, it's not doing anything. Reach back and hit that primer, try it again, because after a while doing this number, you're bouncing all around because you're not connected to the ground when you try to do it. Have you tried to start your motor while you are flying?
Yeah, I have.
It's a different animal altogether.
It is. But and the motor that I was successful at doing it because it was an Atom 80, but I've never tried. I have never tried the Moster 185 in the air, and I hope I never have to. Yeah, that's why I want e-start. I want to experience what it's like to go up, 5,000 feet,
Mhm.
pull the motor, and just like
Do you
glide
have
down.
a hard? Hey, Will, do you have a hard time starting your motor?
I do. It's my shoulder though, and I can only get a few of those before I need to take a break. But
'Cause
taking a break is not an option in the air.
I went up high and I killed my motor, and it's amazing because the prop still spins and it still makes noise. So it's not everything you're thinking of. Let's put it that way. And then, but when I pulled it and it started right away.
Nice. Nice.
So
You know what I've got though, Shane? those noise canceling earbuds.
You talking to Shane or me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean.
Oh
Sean.
yeah,
Yeah. So the noise canceling earbuds.
love those things.
So have you experienced those yet, Jim?
Yeah, I have them, but you can. I could still hear the prop noise.
Even over the Bose?
Well, I don't have the Bose.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the Bose. I've tried the Sonys. I've tried the other ones. I've tried all noise canceling sets. That Bose noise canceling will knock out every sound. It's incredible. It's my favorite earbud.
Do
I
you have the wired ones, Will?
yeah, I have the wired ones.
Me too.
I tell you, I cannot. Have you ever had them slip out of your ear?
No, because
Sean,
I got the muffs on.
Well, I've got the muffs on too,
Oh, you're
but
talking about they just wiggle out. Yeah,
they
I'll just
wiggle
pop
out.
open that thing, push them back in,
Yeah,
pop
me
them.
too, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But I mean, I can tell a world of difference to the point where it's like, God, man, I can't believe I've been flying with all this noise, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Does it? Do you know if anybody's tried the earbud ones?
What do you
I know
mean?
what you're talking about, and I have not tried them. I know they've got the other Bose that goes back behind your neck, and it's wireless. I just don't know how that would work with the helmet and the earmuffs.
Well, the one with the wire, because the wire does come down, you just put on some foam, some foam over your microphone. So when you're flying, you can talk and it seems like you are, right next to, the person. Remember when I was on one of the shows and I called in when I was flying? You couldn't even tell that I was flying.
Yeah. Yep.
That was just a regular iPhone buds that I put on that was connected to my iPhone. That's before the Bose, and that's how good the noise canceling was. It's pretty insane.
Do your Bose? Do they connect to multiple Bluetooth things? Like, could you connect it to
It's not
your
Bluetooth;
phone
it's wired.
and to your ICOM radio or your
It's wired. I just connect it. I have a chest mount, so I connect it directly to my phone and into my ears.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a wire and then wireless. It's directly connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like it like that because I have a lot more control over it, and I can talk on the phone. I can listen to music. It's everything I need, and it's a lot cheaper than those Cenas or Senas, however you say it. Even though I do have the 10R, I just don't use it. I use the Bose. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Does anyone in the chat use noise canceling? And if you do, what do you use? The only
I
thing,
use
the only disadvantage of the Bose, and it's like we need more wires, coming out of our chest and going all over the place. I would like it. I would like a wireless option.
I use the Samsung earbuds and they cancel out the sound pretty good, but it's not like you can't hear the motor. You can hear it. And and the problem with them is that I cannot connect to my Rexon nav radio and I and connect to my phone. So if I get a phone call, I can't take it because they're earbuds and I can't it doesn't connect to my boom on my Cena, and so it's kind of a pain.
I don't even use a airband radio. I got one. It just is. I just don't use it. I got all sorts of different things that I thought that I needed when I was first started to fly. All I need is a phone, earbuds, muff, helmet, and I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this time of year I've seen a few crop dusters and it's a little disconcerting. And also I've been flying some long distances and I've been getting up to 8,000 feet to catch the right wind currents.
Wow.
And so then I'm getting into kind of dangerous territory. I mean, I'm in safe areas, I'm allowed to fly there, but so are other people.
I see. Yeah, it's like the, what's that,
Go ahead,
Will?
Sean.
Go ahead, Will.
Well, I was gonna say, that reminds me, if anyone's got I've got to use the micro avionics, and I need an adapter for the, ICOM aviation radio. If anyone has one laying around, let me know. Hit me up.
Gotcha.
There's another thing, those Rexon 530, I think they are RHPs. You can't get parts for them, and I don't think they're available anymore. So my charger blew, and now I'm without a radio, which
Bummer.
sucks. Yeah, because now I gotta go and buy another. What are the ICOMs? Are like $500 or $600.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got mine for like 200 or 150 or something. I got a really good deal.
You're always
Yeah,
getting good deals, man.
That's
you
because
got the Rexon though, didn't you?
I don't remember what I got, but it works. I mean, it
Yeah,
it
I got
does
the
what
Rexon.
it
It's
needs to do.
great, except the charger blew. So now I gotta try and figure out how to make the charger work.
Can't you just
Gotcha.
buy a new charger?
Nope, they're not available.
Really.
I think they stopped making them, and they stopped making parts and everything for them. You can't even find them for sale anymore very easily.
Interesting. So I'm looking for paramotors right now. I found one for 3,250 on here, but it has a almost $500 shipping, and I only see one. I only see one. Oh, I guess they're trying to show me that things are bent on it. Only one picture, and it really doesn't give me much other than it has a 40 hours on the unit since the rebuild. I have no idea how old it is when it was built. I don't know anything about this. I tell you, looking on eBay is kind of scary for paramotors. Scary as in like I don't know what they have. Um, and a lot of times too, they don't even show you what the when the manufacturer was. Like this wing I got. I couldn't find a placard inside the wing to tell me what year it was or what size it is or anything. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit harder the next time that I open it up and take a look. Um, let's see. So the places that we look to find cheap paramotors or inexpensive paramotors that are good, we said Marketplace, on Facebook, paramotor buy and sell in the USA, eBay, Craigslist, but the best one seems to be a fly-in since you're right there. And also too, Jim said check for your instructor, and I also commented on check Cloud9 or the places that you send your wing in to see if they have any good wing deals available. As far as when it comes to like paramotors, you might need to be kind of your own mechanic. Unlike Will that has his own mechanic that can go and check out things. If you want to
You
get
make it sound like I've got them on on
on speed
call.
dial, you got your mechanic on speed dial. Hey, go check this out for me. And so one of the things that I look at when I go and look for a used paramotor now is I will bring my tool bag with me because most of the paramotors are going to be pretty much the same type or same kind. You know, you got your full 4 head bolts. You know, you got a carburetor, you got a throttle. I mean, there's really nothing there, but you need to open up that head to take a look. So there's 2 ways of doing that. You can take out the spark plug and you can put in one of those little cameras and take a look at the head, right? You can look at the head, you can look at the cylinder walls. It's the same one that you use for like a car and something like that. And they're really not that expensive. Matter of fact, you can find the really tiny cameras, you know, probably $20 now. They're just not that expensive. That can connect to your cell phone. So you can see what you're looking at. The second thing that you can do is actually take off the 4 head bolts, open it up, and you can actually look and see physically the inside of the head. So you can look up here, you can look on the head itself, and if you know what you're doing, you can actually pull off the head itself and take a look at the piston rings. Now, I don't know if I really want somebody to do that to my paramotor that I'm selling, But taking off the head, no big deal. I do that all the time anyways. I always change out, I always pop off the head, clean off the head of the piston. I clean this up and make sure everything looks good. And that exhaust port always gets clogged. So I clean that up and everything works out great. So I look at that. That's the big thing. Secondly, when I'm looking at a paramotor that I want to buy, a used one, it's that carburetor. You got to look at that carburetor and also all the different seals. That was a seal.
But I'm bumped.
That was a seal joke. So you look at all the different seals and make sure there's no oil or anything like that that's leaking that you can see. Obviously, you want to start it up. If you can't start up the motor, or you can't get it started on your back or rack, it's probably nothing that you want to buy, because you're going to be doing something with it. If you will, we're going to look and buy a used motor. What would you look for?
I would look for my mechanic.
What would you look for that has a mechanic? What would you look for and say that your mechanic couldn't get there? What would you look for physically on?
I guess I would look.
Unit?
I guess I would look for oil leaks. I would look at, I guess, the Hobbs meter or whatever the time that it had, but like, I know that can be fudged or put on late, or, you know, whatever. I'd look at the, you know what I think I would look at is look for anything that's been freshly replaced. Like the netting, sections of the hoop. I mean, the, you know, the cage or whatever. But again, I wouldn't buy it from somebody I didn't know. I mean, that's pretty much a hard, fast rule for me. If I don't know the person and I can't get any information on the guy or girl's reputation, then yeah,
just ain't not going to get it.
I can get it. No,
that's interesting. If you guys are still here on the super chat, let me know what you would look for when you are buying a used wing or paramotor, and we'll go through that in just a moment. What were you going to say, Jim?
Something that I did was I asked him to fly it for me. I wanted to see that thing flying. And I watched his reactions and how he acted around to see if he was scared about what he was doing, or, you know, just, I wanted him to be comfortable flying that thing.
Yeah. But up in Canada, like you said too, you know, you got a placard that or a stamp that.
Yeah, it tells you the year and the date it was built, so you've got a little bit better idea. But
and also, how about a wing?
the wing has the patch on it, right? So you can read that, and you can make sure that it's the correct wing, and that you can check the year and everything. So yeah, that's. But I think you guys have that too, because
we have
that
placard on ours. What's the oldest wing that you would buy? Like year wise, 2000 what would be your oldest year that you would buy?
Me personally, 2017. That's what I have. And I probably wouldn't buy another 2017 just because, hey, newer the better, right?
Exactly. So what's the newest that you would, or what's the oldest that you would buy right now used if you were able to?
Probably 2020.
2020?
Or, yeah, in around that area.
How about you, Will?
I'd want the next generation because I have a Mac Para Charger. Well, there's the Mac Para Charger 2 is out, so I might consider that. Or I might consider the Colorado, or, you know, something a little bit newer anyway.
yeah, I would say 2020 would be also my number, but it's not so much about the year. I mean, because some guys put hundreds of hours on their wings, you know, and they can do that in a very short period of time.
Absolutely.
I'd say it would be more about the inspection than
well, and now I can kite the wing, so I could pop it up and see, and I could feel what it would be like. But when you're first starting, you have no idea. You might be able to kite it, but you haven't done a bunch of wings, so you don't really know what you're getting into. This could just be, that could be a super advanced wing, like an F1 or something, and you wouldn't be able to get it up anyway, maybe.
That's true. And I don't know why, but I see so many students that are buying gear before they come to see me or see an instructor. And they're always getting these huge tandem wings. And I know why, because those are the wings that you can get for $1,500 and less. Sometimes you can get them for $1,000, because they're old, but they're like, it's like an Afghan with rope. It's like almost impossible to pop these damn things up.
Freaking burlap sack.
I know, right? They're horrible. I mean, they look good, and it goes back to like we just talked about. I got my Roaster 3. It's a 2019, brand new in 2019. Went to 2 or 3 different SIV courses that year. Threw down some acro. Never put it in water. It was clean. It was crispy, but I sent it in because I had like 350 hours on it for that first year of me flying, and it failed. It failed, but it looked brand freaking new. And it'd be so easy to be a jerk and try to sell that wing, saying, "Hey, look, it's still crispy, it's looks good," and then try to sell it for what it's not worth. And unfortunately, that happens a lot, especially on eBay. Unfortunately, you get a lot of junk out there.
Yeah, back to the reputation. I mean, someone who's got some skin in the game, they've got something to lose. Did you see Paramotor Steve's comment?
No, I haven't looked at the chat. Let me go ahead and go over to the chat real quick and take a look. So what do we got here?
He was saying that he would check the strength of the cage. And Tony Marzano said he would check the belt, number 1. And Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane said that he's only going to buy new, period.
Yeah, it just, so the reason why I did what I did is because I do have a school, and the kids are really brutal when it comes to kiting these wings. And they'll drag them on the ground, they'll get them caught, and they'll still try to pull them. They'll flip over and they'll land hard on the leading edge. Just brutal. So having some wings like my wing, and I think somebody asked me, Greg Frederick said, what failed on it, porosity or lines? The lines failed. Everything else was good on it. The reason why the lines failed is because acro and SIV. So wait a minute, what happened? Did somebody, hold on, what is this? I see somebody gave me $1.99, a $2 donation. When was that? Do you see it?
I don't see it.
Somebody popped up. It was Copay J. I had to scroll back up. I saw it right here on my stream thing. Copay J donated $2 in the super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Right on. I sure didn't see that. It's not showing up in my chat.
I didn't see it either. I also see somebody saying something to Sean. Let's see what it says. Greg Laney said, with technology products, sometimes to best until technology is proven before jumping on the bandwagon. Is there ever a time when you wait to read the reviews before buying a wing? I always demo the wing. Matter of fact, on my wings, I demoed first. After the Roadster 3, I demoed a Gin Vantage 3, and it was lifty. It was great. And I'm like, I'll buy this. This is great. Then I demoed a APCO Lift Easy R. R's for racing. I think that's what Mark McElroy said that he has. And it is so solid. It's great. Will Fly donated $5.
I just wanted to see if that thing worked.
Resurgence PPG rocks. Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate it. But totally lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. Just totally gone.
I'm sorry, man. I'm at fault.
It's not you, it's Grandpa.
Give me that $5 back.
So Sean, did you buy your first setup brand new?
Me?
Yeah.
I bought the wing new. So I bought a brand new Roadster 3, 2019 Roadster 3, and I was training with an Afghan with rope, one of the ones that my trainer was able to let me use. So it was a POS from HE double hockey sticks, right? It was just an awful, awful training wing, but I was able to train. So when I opened up my brand new wing, my Roadster 3, it went poof. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this thing. So then what I did is I decided that I wanted to get a paramotor that was solid, that I could butt land on and turtle because, a lot of people don't know, but I'll go ahead and say it real quick. In 2017, I had some really bad heart failure, a valve broke, and my ascending aorta root expanded to like almost 6 centimeters. I don't remember what it was. It was just huge. They said, you are going under knife. So they cut me open. They put a sleeve over that. They fixed my mitral valve. And then a complication was a stroke. So I wasn't able to speak. I had a peg tube in my stomach, so I had to be fed through a tube. Long story short, when I first started, I wanted to learn how to fly. And the reason why I wanted to learn how to fly, because when you don't eat, or you can't eat, you can't speak and stuff, you're like, man, I want to see something. And before I learned about the mukbang, where you see people eat, I searched for cheeseburger. And here's Tucker Gott flying on this machine with a sheet and a backpack to McDonald's. What is this? And he's actually the reason why I was able to, just muster everything I had to get better in 2018 so I could learn to fly in 2019. So when I started flying in 2019, I still was very weak on one side. My knees would still buckle. I wasn't able to stand very well. It took a long time for me to learn to kite. But anyway, long story short, I wanted a paramotor that was solid, and I found a used flat top. So that was my very first one, was a flat top that I got from someone. That's the one I got for 3,000, and then I had to put in about $500 to it to make it flyable. And that's what I trained on. That's what I learned on. And I swear to God that I would not do what I've seen out there. I've seen these videos where people are doing butt landings. They are sitting too soon. They turtle and all these things that I'm like, I swear I will not do it. I see it on the internet. I know in my mind I will not do it. And my first 10 flights, I pretty much did everything. Everything from sitting too soon, butt landing, turtling, all that stuff. But I tell you what, that damn flat top didn't break. Did not break. It was awesome. So anyways, because of the, what do you call it? The stigma around the flat tops. People that didn't know me, they saw me pull up with a flat top and immediately they're like,
And welcomed you with open arms.
right? So I'm like, okay, I don't like this. So I learned about the SkyTap Angel and got up with um,
Andrew,
Andrew Fuller and got a round top.
Round
I
top.
got a round top. I got the same thing. It's a SkyTap Angel. It's round. It's a little bit better built, and it's a lot more comfortable than a flat top. So that's where I started off from. No, I did not super die, says Stephen Goodpaster. Flat top, but you didn't super die. I know, right? Because now everything that I have is a death trap, so someone says. So, but I like all my death traps. They're so much nicer.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
John said something that it is kind of interesting. He said inspections are graded. Even a pass doesn't mean the wing has much life left. So how are they graded? Is it like an A, B, C, D or whatever? Or do they give it a time or?
so they send you back a sheet and they color code it. So green yellow, red, right? So green is good. Yellow is like, okay, we're getting to the point that, it's still flyable, but, and then you have the red where it's like, no, it's not going to pass inspection. So when it went through inspection, it basically said that the lines were stretched and they didn't hold the weight that it should because of the SIVs and the acro that I was doing.
Mhm.
So you bought David Carroll's flat top. Yes, Tony Marzano. Yes, that was it. David brought me into the world. So always love it. But yeah. Anyway, I forgot what I was
He
saying.
probably was selling it because of the reputation.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good because think about it. The motor was great. So what I did is I bought the flat top. I'm sorry. I bought the Angel frame and then I took that motor off of the flat top, which was the Motor 25 Classic, lots of power, put it on the Angel, and that was great. And then when I was ready to buy another motor, I got the Moster 185, the Mine 19, took that old motor back off, put it on the flat top. Now I got a brand new motor on my Angel, and then that's when I sold my very first flat top to a good friend. And
Is he still your friend?
still my friend, believe it or not. I don't know if he wants me to use his name or anything, but he's a pretty popular guy, not on paramotors, but what he does, very, very popular. And so he bought it from me. He took it home to go train with it. Well, he never got the opportunity to train with it. So years later, guess who he calls to go through training?
Yours truly.
Yep. So he came up and he trained with me, and we got him a bunch of flights, and he was able to fly the paramotor.
Right on.
Pretty awesome. And now I got the Atom 80, the Power to Fly. I got that Nirvana that I'll be working on because I got that for $500. It has an E-start and pull start. It's heavy as hell. It's only a 125, so it'll be really interesting to see what I can do with it. And then, of course, I got this Blackhawk 220, which revs up and starts. I don't know if I want to take it up for a spin, but with the reserve, why not?
Yeah.
So now I got a couple more to go play with and play with. But it does take a lot of money. So if you do get a used paramotor, you're probably going to have to put some money into it to get it up to standards. Another thing too, you might want to know how the straps work. So I got this Blackhawk 220, and I don't know if you know this or not, but when you hook on a harness, the strap goes around, goes through the loops, and then it's supposed to go around again a third time back up through that top loop. These were only through the first two loops and didn't go through that third loop, which means that you could go fly, that thing could easily slide out and be extremely dangerous. So you want to make sure that if you do get a used machine, you probably want to take it to an instructor or somebody that knows a lot about these things before you even take it up in the air or try to self-train.
Yeah. Yeah. I then no matter what, at when I first started out, I don't recommend that anybody when they're first starting out just go out and buy anything on eBay or Amazon or Craigslist or anything. I liked what Jim said. Check with an instructor, a local instructor. They at least have the ability to look at you and judge your situation and know whether, at 100 pounds, you shouldn't be getting a Moster 185, most likely, in a 30 meter wing. And
Right. Yeah, and like I said, this guy was like 150 pounds I bought this from, and he had a Blackhawk 220 with a 29-meter wing. It's like, I mean, that's ridiculous. And he said that when he went to his first day of training, I forgot who he said that he was going to train with, but he never did train. He went back to school, so that's why he's selling it, so he could have school money. But he said he went there one day, and the instructor said, "Yeah, that's perfect for him." I don't know if that's right or not. I know,
Which
right?
wonder.
Greg Frederick said a $40 line, maybe less on discount. You probably could have restored that first wing to have hundreds of hours of life on it. Well, here's interesting. I didn't finish that story. So I got it back. And the only thing that it was the lines, because they snapped the A wing, one of the A lines, and then they will replace it. But when they snap it, they figure out how many pounds it takes to snap that line. And I'm going to throw out a number. It's probably not right. It's supposed to hold 800 pounds, but it broke at 300 or 400 pounds. So they said that it wasn't good, and you probably don't want to do any acro. And I said, well, what if I just want to do some some foot dragging? They said, oh yeah, foot dragging be fine, And that's when I put another 100 hours on that wing that was failed, and I put 100 hours on it at the sod farm foot dragging. Now, I didn't replace the spines because I started the school and I needed a wing that the kids can destroy, and that's one of my wings that they use. Matter of fact, we had somebody chop it up, so we learned how to tape a wing. Then we had someone with the trike, and it chopped up. We learned once again how to patch up a wing. So it's good to have. But it'll never be flown again.
To be kited though, right?
It kites. You know what? With it being taped, I swear to God, because it's clear tape, right? The clear what's the tape that they use? The ripstop tape, right? Mm-hmm. Clear ripstop tape. You cannot tell that this thing has been ripped, cut, burnt, or anything. It's amazing, and it pops up just beautifully. You can go down the bunny hill and catch air on it without any problem either. Now, I wouldn't take it up. You know what? Maybe I'll take it up for a foot drag, but I'm not going to get any altitude on that thing. But no, I don't want to fly it. I got plenty of other wings. I was able to get a bunch of other wings, trade-ins and used wings. So I've been flying a lot. It's pretty awesome. Tony Marzano said he met Trevor and he was super cool, all pun intended, of course. And I think that he said also, if you get the chance to meet Dell. What was it? Tony Marzano said, I met Dell at Salton Sea. If you're in this sport, you should meet him. Even if you don't like him, it's worth it. Just saying. When I went from the flat top to the Angel, I've never been tongue lashed by anybody so much on my site, paragraphs and paragraphs of how dangerous it is to have the Angel, and that's when I'm like, I just won't talk with them. I'm good.
Dude, that Angel is built. I mean, that's a strong page.
Plus, if you break any part of the Angel, the guarantee is if you're videoing it, he'll send you out free parts. How many other dealers out there, if you break a frame, will they send you out a free part? Nobody.
Is he going to do that for the new one?
The Spartan, I'm not sure about the Spartan, but for the Angel for sure. I don't know about the Spartan. I would like to get the Spartan. That's like the Angel with it just being a regular paramotor with swing arms, and it doesn't look like an old flat top that's a round top. It has the 500-pound test netting, so you can't put your hands through. The hoop is solid, so you can do a forward inflation, powered forward inflation without it warping. But I don't know if he does the same deal or not. But I would like to get one of those eventually. Met Trevor here was super cool. I like Trevor. I like Trevor a lot. I have no problem with Trevor. He's a good kid and
smart.
I don't have any problem with Trevor. I think he's a good guy.
No doubt.
All right.
Dan, can you believe we've been on here for an hour and a half?
What? An hour and a half? We haven't even started the podcast yet.
You haven't even pressed record.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go ahead and start this thing up real quick, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, it's an hour and a half. We probably need to kill this up. I was only going to do an hour anyway. So what is the what's the takeaway from the show? The takeaway is you want to get training at a reputable training place that has gear. That way you can use their gear and you can try different gear. You can try the different motors, you can try different wings. They instructors will probably have more than just, you know, whatever wing they sell. They probably have other wings, and you can try different wings. You can try different motors probably. So
They
once
might have
you're,
used equipment.
what's that?
They might have used equipment too.
And they might have used equipment, exactly. So your instructor might say, hey, you don't need to buy brand new gear. We got a demo wing and a out of box paramotor that we can take off, you know, $1,000 or $2,000. Who knows? I mean, I don't know, but you can definitely get some money off of a demo wing and an out of box paramotor. All right, so once you're a pilot, then you can kind of understand what to look for, especially if you did your first 100-hour maintenance. Now you really truly understand what you need to do, what you need to look at when you buy a used wing. I mean, a used paramotor. You can open up the head, you can look at your lines. Oh, that's another thing. Look at the fuel lines. Feel the fuel lines. If they do not wiggle around, if they're solid like a pencil or a pen, they're like this. That's an old fuel line. If you fly paramotors, I would suggest that you replace your fuel line once a year. I do. In fact, I just bought a bunch of fuel line to work on Nirvana and to replace the fuel line on that new one I bought. But also replace the dog bones and the carabiners once a year. Do they need it? Probably not. But to me, that's my safety. That little dog bone that wraps around your comfort bars or your swing arm or your J bars that connects to your carabiner. That is your lifeline right there. That little thing that's going to cost you $50 to replace once a year can save your life. I've seen way too many videos where people take off and a carabiner breaks or the dog bone rips because it's been there for so long, and they just parachute down or streamer down. That's even worse. And I don't want that to ever happen. So I'll dish out another $50 for something like that. eBay can be a good one. Craigslist can be a good one. Facebook Marketplace, probably a little bit better because we know the people that are selling it. I mean, we've probably seen their videos. We probably heard of them. They might even be friends of ours on our friends list. So probably a Facebook.
There's groups too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Facebook
they're
groups,
more
yeah.
local. You can pick a local group and,
Mhm.
actually go see it before you buy it.
Exactly. Check with your instructor because your instructor might have some paramotors and wings that were a demo or out of box, or maybe a student, decided that they didn't want this and they just, here, take it all back. I just don't want it. I'm not going to fly again. And your instructor might have some really good stuff that really wasn't used very much. That's good that he can give you like really cheap. Cloud9 or some other place that inspects wings. That's a great place to ask if they have any used wings that are good that I can get really cheap. You might be able to do that. And of course, like you said, Will, reputation of the people that are selling it. I think that is the big key right there. If you don't know the person, you probably need to make sure that you got inspection for the wing, and you probably need to go and actually look at the paramotor with your own eyes, kick the tires, so to speak, and make sure it does kick over and run. Will, Jim, any other takeaways?
No, man, it's been a great meeting. Zoom. It's been a great show.
Well, it's been a great meeting.
Yeah.
We meet on Mondays. But as far as takeaways, Will would rather have his mechanic go and check or just buy brand new stuff. Mark McElroy said he would rather just buy new stuff and doesn't want to deal with anybody's used stuff. Jim, in the
It
future,
would be, I would have to, I would have to judge each situation differently. But because I mean, there are so many variations to the puzzle, right?
exactly.
But I would lean toward, I would definitely want to know the person. I would want to know the equipment already, basically know it's been flying. Like, for example, Will was talking about selling his wing. I'd be comfortable buying a wing from Will
Yeah.
any day. But I wouldn't just do that from anyone.
Yeah, and especially the wing. I mean, if it came down to which was more important in buying used, I would say the wing, you know,
Is to buy a new wing
a
and
new wing.
a new
Yeah.
wing and a used paramotor. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have bought the way I bought. I mean, I got fortunate. Everything worked out well, and I've gotten 100 hours on my stuff, and it's all been good. But I there's just too many variables, things that you just don't know.
Hmm.
And I would prefer that my instructor had gone through it thoroughly, and or well, yeah, brand new, or my instructor had gone through it thoroughly before I flew it, which that didn't happen because it was my equipment, my stuff, right? My instructor looked at it, but he didn't go through it thoroughly to make sure everything was good.
Gotcha.
Stephen Goodpasture says, don't forget Alibaba. He's just kidding, of course. Alibaba. Oh, wait.
And the 40 Thieves. You can build a paramotor. Yes, you can build a paramotor. I've been trying to build a paramotor. You think that I've been trying to. So I got a friend that is a welder. Um, I got friends that are helping me do this stuff. I got 3D printers. We've been trying to 3D print, a frame and stuff. You would think that all it is a hoop and you connect a motor to it. There's a lot more involved. I did not realize how much there actually is involved in making a freaking cage, because everything with angles, the thrust, the weld, all that stuff. It's there's just so much involved. And when you hear about getting um, uh, a frame from one of these manufacturers and they are charging $2,000 or $3,000 for a frame, or like there's not enough material in it to be $2,000 or $3,000 for a frame. It's not, you're not paying that $2,000 or $3,000 for that material. You're all the 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 time that went into the prototypes and building it, and the math that goes into it, and making sure that you have the right parts and it does connect correctly and it doesn't shear off. Uh, there's a lot that goes into it. But on that same note, you can fly a bed, as we saw on the internet, somebody flying a bed and a rocking chair. Have you seen those, Will?
Wait a minute. Wasn't that a children's movie?
No, no.
Bed knobs and broomsticks.
There's a guy. All right, if you're in the super chat, you probably already know. There is a guy that is some other place that wasn't America that made a bed and a rocking chair and all sorts of other things, and he would go off the hill and fly.
Yeah, he doesn't have a motor on his back on that
Right,
thing.
it's just free flight type of thing. But he flew a rocking chair. He flew a bed that had a nightstand. He even put his thing on it. I mean, did you see these videos? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they're great.
super chat. Do you know what? Do you have a link for it? If you do, put in the super chat so we can play it. Paraglider bed. Let's see what pops up.
While you're doing that, Stephen
Go ahead.
Gepetto said you can build a paramotor from the blueprints of Popular Mechanics.
I remember that video. That was a while back. And then the other one that I saw was the guy on the couch.
I found it.
Same guy, I think.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. So here he is. He's on a bed. He's got nightstand. He's got
Yep,
lamps.
I remember this.
So there he goes. He's
Yeah.
being launched over here. Apparently, this mountain right here has very laminar winds. This is a great place. So he's a very skilled pilot. But look, he's flying a bed.
He's got nightstands, a little lamp.
He's got a picture thing over there. He's got a little clock. And look, he's putting that thing over his face. Look at that.
Oh, heck
A
no.
nap.
Heck no.
So when it comes to flying, obviously you don't need a lot of technology. Bed. He also does like a rocking chair. There. Oh, and he has a game, a table, and two people are sitting there playing chess or something.
But he's not even strapped in, is he?
No. Who needs to be strapped in when you're in a bed?
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
got
God.
toggles, right? Yeah, he's got toggles, so he can. Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
was that
heck
like the
no.
craziest thing that you've ever seen? So yeah, you don't need a lot of technology to build anything like this. But on the same note, if you got power behind you, you got to be careful because you got a thrust line and you have riser twists, all these weird things like that. But this guy's flying a freaking bed.
I wonder how that thing lands.
I don't know. Did you see how close that helicopter was to him?
I think it's a drone that's taking the video.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. So here he is coming in,
Ugh.
and he's going to
Oh my
land on
gosh.
the beach.
Oh, there he goes.
And it doesn't even land on the leading edge. How about that? Guy knows what he's talking about.
Dang, man.
So he also does one that he is playing chess.
So I gotta say something real quick. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say a Shane joke. So if he lands in the water, does that mean he has a water bed?
Oh, yeah, Linda,
that's
pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, not
That's
bad.
a shout out to Shaney.
There we
I
go.
just I had to,
Oh, say I'm looking for paramotor. It's
I
par-
thought you were gonna say, does that mean he wet his bed?
Oh no, that's pretty funny too.
So we got people that are playing chess when they're skydiving. I flew a powered paraglider and played chess. Skydiving without a parachute. Where's that one? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Skydiving without a parachute.
I saw that one too. My God, can you imagine jumping off an airplane without a parachute and then trying to? So here this guy is again.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
the
asked-
guy with the couch.
Right. So he's got the
That's what I was
chair
talking about.
and he's got a TV. So he's got a TV also.
Good.
And like I said, sorry, my internet is horrible over here. So there, look, he's got a flat screen TV. It's on wheels. And now he's going to fly.
Right.
I mean, so you can pretty much fly anything that you want to. If it's not, all right. So once again, if it's not powered, it has to be under how many pounds if it's not
I'd be
powered?
screaming. Oh my God.
Do you remember, guys, if you are flying an ultralight in the United States, if it's under a certain weight, you can fly it under FAR 103? Do you remember what that weight limit is?
Was it
Not
155?
powered. That's not
Right.
254 pounds.
155, right? If it's not powered. So look at that. He's putting on his bedroom slippers. He's watching TV. And he's not strapped in.
Oh my gosh.
There's no reserve. He's got a light. He's got a lamp, so he can fly after dark if he wants to.
You don't think he's got a reserve?
I don't see a reserve.
I mean, maybe it's under the cushion.
he's not attached to anything. If he does throw a reserve,
Airplane.
Well,
he's
that's
falling.
true. Yeah, he's not strapped in.
Right. So drinking a Coke, eating some Cheetos. Now that's what we need to do next, right?
Bedroom slippers.
So, so obviously it's not difficult to fly something. I mean, if you got a wing, you can pretty much strap on a lawn chair. And as long as you have it angled correctly, here he is coming in for a landing. You can land a frickin' love seat. Unbelievable.
Boom.
Oh, man.
So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. So when it comes to flying, obviously he didn't buy himself a used wing. I'm sure that was a new wing that he got because his entire life is on that wing. And he just connected to a bed, he connected to a love seat. Obviously he can connect it to a one wheel with a chair like PPG Brian does, right? You could fly with that, with a one wheel if you wanted to. So it's not difficult to go fly, but you need to know how to fly first. And once you know how to fly, then all these other things,
Yeah.
you can try anything. That's why I'm not too worried about getting a $500 paramotor because all it needs to do is push me.
So what's the deal with the jump skydiving without a parachute? I don't get it. You just
Well,
just
I don't know why you'd want to skydive.
If
In
it's
first
the
place.
video that I'm thinking of, the guy had a big net down on the ground
Yeah.
and he had like thousands of jumps and he just did it.
and he had to hit that net, of course.
Yes, he did. And it was a massive net, but still,
Yeah, it's sky actually there's a bunch of different ones that are on here, jumping without a net. I mean, I just searched for skydiver no parachute, and wow, a lot of people are doing it. That doesn't sound like I don't want to do it. I don't want to skydive. I like the paramotor. You know, I know that I can just push a button or throttle, go, and be safe. Let me go ahead and share this so you can see what I'm talking about.
when we were at the Bud Fan Dust Off this spring,
Yeah.
a guy,
Dang.
Did we lose Jim?
he seriously
losing
lost me.
him.
Yeah, so this guy jumps out without a freaking parachute and then aims himself towards this big double net.
Looks like he's going through a cloud layer.
I mean, I'm not all right. In the super chat, if you're still here watching this, would you skydive or have you skydive? Did. Would you want to? I
Yeah,
have no.
at Moonshiners, they had skydiving there. And a couple of my buddies did skydive for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they just absolutely loved it. And I learned something about skydiving that I didn't know before, as I figured that as soon as you jumped, you'd have that terrible, terrible, oh my gosh, I'm, falling and, but apparently it's not like that.
No, it's like going to an SIV course and collapsing your wing. You don't have that stomach feel. I mean, you drop out of the sky, but you don't feel it, and I don't know why either.
Well, he says something about the plane was moving forward, and instead of you just dropping straight down, you're like kind of like at an angle away from the plane, I guess. So that was interesting, but I don't want to skydive.
No.
When I was 20, I did want to skydive, but for some reason now I don't.
Well, when I was 20, I felt like I could do anything. I bungee jumped. Matter of fact, I went to Canada. Oh, you're gonna love this, Jim. I don't know if I told you the story or not, but back in the day, if you Look at that. Wow. He just landed that freaking net. And he has a double net too, so if he missed that first one, at least he added a second one. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, and you know what's really insane? You know that thing looks like a freaking pea. You know, I mean, you've got to be talented to.
Well, it's like you said, this guy has jumped out of planes thousands of times. You wouldn't want to do that on your first or second jump. Just like when you first learn how to fly a paramotor, you're not going to do acro, you're not going to do a wing over, or a infinity. You have to work up to it. And this guy really worked up to jumping without a freaking parachute. That's insane. Wow. Oh my
Tony
gosh, is it really
Sopranos.
almost 9 o'clock?
Skydivers rock.
Unbelievable. So, would you guys want to skydive? Let me look in the chat to see if anybody said anything. Sean, were you? Oops. Let's see. Dang, I got lots of ideas. That's hilarious. Will your recliner is next? Yeah, we got to do that recliner thing. Sean, were you in the Marines and you never jumped? I was in the Marines. We jumped once and it was a low jump and we went down quick. That's all we did. And that was in 88. And I was a kid, so I didn't care. It was fun. I didn't break anything, but wouldn't want to do it again. That's probably why I didn't want to do it, because we went down so quick. But those chutes in the service, they're designed to get down quick. They're not designed to float around. So I don't know. Maybe skydiving might be something.
Did you guys see Tony Bella's his latest video when he went skydiving?
I have not.
Oh, you guys got to watch it, because his friend went with him, and his friend's the parachute didn't open, but thank God they had like a reserve or something on it. But his friend went, yeah, and the parachute didn't open.
That just sounds terrifying. Greg Lanley said,
He watched he showed it was on the video or whatever. Like, talk about scary. Yeah, you guys got to see it. I think it's on Facebook. Anthony had it on Facebook.
you'll have to find that link and send it to our guest chat. Greg Lanley and
If anybody
super
saw
chat
it.
said, now that have a paramotor, I don't feel the need to skydive. I'm not opposed to a free offer, but I'll save my money in paramotor. And see, that's exactly the way I feel right now. I used to have boats. I used to have 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers. I used to, do all that fun stuff, right? I never really satisfied my itch, right? But once I learned this paramotor, this is all I want to do. I don't want a boat anymore. I don't want to a motorcycle. I don't need a 4-wheeler. I just want to fly, because I can do everything on my paramotor that I can do in everything else. I can skim the water, right? So there's my boat, right? I can foot drag. So there's my 4-wheeler. I can foot drag to a canyon and jump it like Evil Knievel, right? And I don't have to worry about falling or whatever. So I mean, everything that I want to do, everything I love to do, I can do in a paramotor.
Did he ever do that successfully?
Evil Knievel?
Yeah.
Jump
You mean jump over the Grand Canyon?
He
Yeah,
jumped.
I remember the attempt or attempts, but did he ever actually do it?
I think he jumped it so he could, crash his motorcycle down there and went down on a parachute. I think that was his gig.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to fly over that, are you?
Well, it was back in the day. I mean, it's
Way
probably,
back.
Oh yeah, I guess back then he probably could have.
Yeah, Paraninja says same Sean. It is turned the volume down on everything else, which now seems a bit boring. Yeah, everything seems a bit boring or too much of a risk. Like, oh, did I tell you? I never finished my story. So back when I was young and I went to Canada, and they told me what is all about with my loonies and toonies. If you know anything about Canada, you're probably laughing your ass off right now. I went to Canada, and one of the things I said, I wanted to bungee jump because I was a kid, and you could bungee jump, but it cost like a couple $100. I'm like, I don't want to pay it. Then they said, don't worry, you can bungee jump nude for free.
What?
So I bungee jumped
New.
for free. I had a damn bruise that went all the way. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah, sure.
Oh my
it
Black
was-
eyes. Did you have
it-
two black eyes?
it was really neat though. I mean, it was fun. It was interesting. It scared the crap out of me, but I'm like, I'm never gonna jump off a bridge again. At least not that high.
So where did you do that?
I think I crossed over from the big waterfall and went into.
Buffalo, Niagara Falls.
It was so long ago. I really don't remember the actual place, but I remember I stayed at a KOA. But other than that, I don't remember anything. It's a long time ago. I was a kid. When I say I was a kid, I think I was in my teens or 20s. I can't remember. Early 20s. Good old days.
Peter has got a comment. He's reading the PPG Bible, Volume 6, and it's a wealth of knowledge. He's feeling quite confident to start kiting. Then he says, start kiting on my own or wait until I can find instruction. Closest instructor is 4 hours away. Man, if it was me, I'd start kiting.
Well, what is he going to kite on?
Well, he needs a, obviously,
Yeah,
he needs a,
So-
he needs a
I'd
kite.
so-
start kiting.
So is
I
he
mean,
going
he
to
needs a wing.
purchase a wing, or
Or a kiting wing. Now, there's something that you a good, that's something that I got when I started was a kiting wing. It was a full-size wing, and it was one of those wings that could no longer fly, but it was sufficient to kite. And you can get those relative. I think I bought mine for 500, and I think I sold it for 500. Just passed it on.
if it's a good wing, and the lines are good, then yes, but you still have to have instruction on how to kite a wing. I mean, I got kids in class that, think that, oh yeah, I've watched the videos, I've seen it all, I know exactly I know how to do this. This is gonna be really easy for me.
Does he already have the wing?
I'm like, all right, this is gonna be fun. So I watch them, and I'm like, all right, let me show you first. I show them how to bring up the kite and then bring it back down to a wall. Now I go ahead and try it. Can't do shit. Can't do it at all. And I would suggest, was that Peter that asked?
Yes.
All right. Wait until you get instruction or go to your instructor to get your first lesson. After you get your first lesson and understand how to clip in, because you have to flip it if you're going to do reverse, and you got to understand how to do reverse. If you're going to do a forward, you got to understand how to clip in for your forward and how to lay out your wing. There's a lot of videos out there, but I don't think it goes into a lot of instruction for people to learn how to actually kite a wing off of YouTube. And I think that if you go to your instructor first and say, hey, I would like to, this is 4 hours away, I'd like to get a class in today, learn the basics, and then come home and use one of your wings, or I can get a kiting wing or something and learn how to do that. Because I've seen a lot of people that tried to teach themselves to kite a wing, and the harness that they had was the wrong harness. And Michael, if you're listening to this, I'm talking about your harness, dude. He has a harness. It's one of those harnesses that, so in case you fall type of harness type of thing, I'm talking about when you got the emergency harness or something. So anyways, what it has right here, it has a big flap, right? So he connected the carabiner here, but the flap would go all the way down here 6 inches and all the way back up here, out this way 6 inches and back and forth, and that was on both sides. And if the harness was not equal, then you're talking about this thing flopping around, and it could be a little bit off too. So if you have something that's even half an inch or an inch off, where this one is lower than the other, and you're trying to kite the wing, and it's and it's just that much off, and you're not a pilot that's has hours under a wing as far as kiting, you won't be able to get the wing up above your head. And if you do, it's going to be up there for a second, and then it's going to turn over and land on that leading edge. And it happens all the time. So, Peter, I would say see your instructor, get that first day under your belt, and then ask them, ask the instructor, what kind of harness can I use, and what kind of wing should I use back home to kite until I come back here again. Because when I learned how to fly, my instructor was 4 hours away. So I could only go up there on a good Saturday or Sunday because I was working full time like everybody else. So I'd go up there on a good Saturday, work with it for a couple hours. Then I'd go home, and every free moment that I had after work, before work, on the weekends, I would be trying to learn how to kite. And I was awful until I got my brand new wing, and then it went poof.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah, so
sounded right, Shane. Sean, I'm sorry, I'm doing a chat with Shane at the same time here. So.
Shane,
With
Sean, I
anything
don't
with
care.
So does he have the wing already?
So yeah, so this was I've been doing this now for a little over a year. So when I first started, this
Not
was
you, I mean this guy who's asking the question.
Peter.
Yeah, does he have the wing, or is he thinking about getting one first?
Let's see. Plenty of
Because
old,
I agree with you. Everything you said is 100% if he doesn't have the wing.
And see what Stephen Goodpaster said. Plenty of old, cheap tandem wings with roofer harness. Yes, that's exactly what people are doing. They're getting old tandem wings with a roofer's harness type of thing, and that's not the way to do it. I mean, I'm a really good kiter. You put me in one of those roofer harnesses and a old tandem wing, and I can barely keep that thing up there. It's not a good thing to learn on. They're horrible. Now a speed wing or one of those what do they call them? Roadrunners? Those little tunes? Those might be good because they're designed to ground handle. I mean, they're designed for ground handling. Um, Tandem wings are not. And if you have a wrong harness, you're good with a wrong harness and a
To
wrong
develop bad
wing.
habits from the beginning either. So that's why I really
Yeah.
like your idea of going down, make a day of it, spend the day with, kiting and learning what to do, and what I did, and then come home, like you said, and kite. When I went down, for like a kiting lesson, basically, is I recorded the instruction,
Yeah.
like especially how to clip in and how to reverse and how to turn, things like that. Just so I had it for reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't have a wing yet.
I don't know too many people that have self-trained and are still flying. Um, a lot of the self-trainers, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably self-trainers out there that are, flying and love it, but it seems like a lot of people scare themselves out of flying. They self-train, they break props, they hurt themselves. The wing is, ancient. It's 10 years old, and the paramotor is underpowered or too much power, whatever it is, and they don't feel safe with it. So going to a school and having an instructor might help you stay in the sport a lot longer because you feel safer.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know if you're doing something right or wrong, really. You might think you're doing it right, and it turns out no.
Let me
So
let me see if I can find one of my old kiting videos when I first started, when I was first learning how to kite, and I was able to get one of the old wings and harness. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me search my stuff. What am I searching for? Kiting, kiting, paramotor kiting. I can't remember what I called it because it's been 3 years.
I did get some value out of doing my kiting session by myself for the first time. It showed me all the stupidity of trying to do it without training. I mean, there was so many things I did wrong. Like you said, it's a waste of time.
It is
It's
a waste
just,
of time.
it's crazy.
You think that you're doing something good, but you're not. You're hurting yourself. It's you're gonna get yourself. You're gonna scare yourself out of the sport.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I would never have tried to get in the air, but I mean, just kiting the wing, that was it was virtually a waste of time, except for it showed me that there's no way I could do it without training.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was never going to do it without training. But
Well, I think that, I mean, if you got a bunch of flying buddies and you've been around wings and stuff like that your whole life, then maybe self-training would be okay to do. But
Well, okay, that I don't consider that self-training though, really. I mean, when I first started flying, I mean, my instruction was not, let's just say it wasn't very good. And where I learned most of my flying skills from was my local group of guys. And so that in itself's not self-training. You're actually getting instruction from other guys who've been doing it for a while and know what they're doing.
yeah, so we got a McGee Center over here. It's a community center where they had a really nice lawn. Not now because they, see, I can look and see what I did wrong on that one. I mean, I can look. I'm like, okay, so I turned around and I pulled brake. See, I pulled brake. So I can look and see now. But when I was doing the video, and trying to kite, I thought I was doing everything right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it is fun to look back at the old videos and go, "Oh my God, Sean, what were you thinking? This is horrible."
How long ago was that?
That was back, when I first started to kite in, I don't remember, but yeah, it's funny. It's fun to watch the old videos, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. All right, let me show you this one. You're gonna love this one because this is when I first started. This is ridiculous. You're gonna look at it and go, okay, I even know what the hell you did wrong. So really neat to be able to borrow from my instructor an actual kiting harness and a wing. Obviously, the wing you probably wouldn't want to ever fly. It smelled horrible, like it's been in water. So let me see if I can play this at all. So I don't know if it was the wing or me. Obviously, I think it was me because I was learning how to do this. And I even showed my students, it's like, don't get frustrated. Look at me when I first started. I was pure shit myself. It was awful. So I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my God, I must have lost like 50 pounds dragging it back, opening it up, dragging it back, trying to do it, going forward. Why is it not going up? Look at that. It's like, what am I doing wrong? So unfortunately, this is what your kiting experience is going to be, trying to learn it on your own. Number one, I didn't realize about all the rotor because there's a bunch of trees all around it. So there's rotor that I was unaware of. And all these things that I didn't know. And it's hilarious watching it. But I bet you anything I could take this wing right now and kite it without any problem.
Send it.
I was fortunate. I had my wife who had never kited a kite like this, and she kept telling me what I was doing wrong. So she gave me a lot of good direction, and then none of it ever worked though.
Poor Sean. Oh my goodness.
Wasn't it?
Kind of warm, but yeah. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to, and this was actually having an instructor that told me, what to do and how to do it, and then sent me back home with a wing and a kiting harness to go ahead and do it, right? And here I am trying to do it, and it looked horrible. It was ridiculous. But yeah, what kind of
Yeah, I
license?
remember the first time I went to my school for instruction and the wing popped up and it stayed up. I was like, what the heck? What am I doing differently? I had no idea. Now I do.
Peter Stone in the super chat said, "No wing yet. I have access and a chance to purchase an inexpensive wing. It's an old Ozone Class B wing, still crispy. I don't know what crispy means. I guess it just doesn't mean it's like a Afghan yet. But old and hasn't been checked in some years. Not planning to fly it, only kite." All right, you saw that video that I just posted, right? That was an old video or an old wing that was still crispy. It was a Class B wing, and that's what was going on with me. I don't think that you want to buy any equipment that you're just going to use temporarily to learn how to kite. I think that your instructor will be able to get you kiting a wing really quick. Like the first day, you'll be able to pop it up and go, okay, this is it. I don't think that it'd be wise to get an older wing to learn how to kite. What do you guys think?
I kited mostly with the wing that I was gonna fly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so did I. I kited with my wing that I was going to fly. I bought that before I started training, and it was a 2017, and it's a good wing. Still is. I still use it, and I love it.
Yeah. I think that if you're going to learn how to kite, you're going to, number one, tear that wing up. Use a school wing that, they rotate out, and, you're not getting something that the lines might be too short and may not be able to kite. One of my students brought me a wing that he got that he was learning how to kite. And I tried to kite the wing, and the one side just kept on flopping down. I'm like, what's going on? Because the lines were stretched. So it wouldn't even stay fully inflated. And this is what somebody was trying to learn how to kite on, was a wing that is very difficult for me to keep the wing up and not have that one side collapse because the lines were stretched. So
Another reason to use a wing that is from the instructor is because they know those wings. They don't have to read the manual of your wing. Like when my wing, it's not supposed to be flowing with the trims all the way in, but nobody knew that. So it took a little bit of adjusting because we just didn't. I found it out later when I finally read the manual. I did figure out how to do it, but and it worked out. But I would have saved all that time figuring all that out if I had just used the school wing or bought a wing that the instructor was familiar with.
Or just have a little bit of time under your belt with your school wing, because when you buy your wing, you don't want to take that thing up and have it turn around and go right down on the leading edge, and because immediately you're destroying your wing. I mean, the wings only have a finite life, anyways. Shelf life 10 years from manufacturer date. So if it was manufactured today and it was still in this package and it stayed in this package, and 10 years from now someone said, hey, look, I got a brand new wing, you want it? I'll sell it to you for $3,000. If it's 10 years old and it's never been opened, to me it's not worth it. It still degrades over time. Not as bad as if you're going to keep it out in, midday sun, letting it stay out there, or throwing it in the washer, or going into the lake and catching fish. You know, they only have a finite life. I would say 600 hours, and that's if you take care of it. Uh, and that's a good that is working it for 2 years straight of 300 hours a year. Um, and it'd probably still be good, but they really only have a finite life. And if you don't know who you're getting it from and how they uh, fly, that makes a big determination too. If someone loves to do acro, like I would never buy one of Tucker Gott's used wings.
Heck no, man. You know that thing's
Used and abused. I
you could
know.
hang it on the wall though.
What's that?
You could hang it on the wall.
It'd be great for students to kite. There's great
Yeah.
kiting stuff, but I don't know if I'd ever want to fly anything. But like I said, that first year I did 200 or 350 hours on my Roadster 3, and when I sent it in, it failed. So you can this is 2022. I could probably find somebody that got a 2022 wing, brand new at the very first of the year, did SIVs and acros and stuff, and here it is, almost September, and that wing probably would fail.
Yeah.
Was it crispy? I bet it was crispy. Brand new? Yeah, I'm sure it still smelled brand new. No mud on it. It still looked amazing, but it would fail the test. And if you went up there and tried to do some acro or a spiral, one of those lines would probably snap. How many times have we seen people try to do acro and a line snapped?
Yeah. Seen it firsthand.
Yep, just happened. Bad apples. So
James Sutherland.
absolutely. So if someone just takes off and they fly early in the morning and they don't do anything and they come in for a landing and they pack everything up, within that hour of a sunrise, that wing is going to last a long, long time. When you fly midday or you're out past that hour after sunrise or before sunset type of thing, the sun really degrades it. If you get it wet, it's dewy out in the morning and it doesn't dry all the way and you pack it back up, that degrades it too. Sunlight degrades it. You keep it in the car or your trunk because you want to go fly in the afternoon after work, right? And so you keep your wing in the trunk. That will degrade it. So you don't know what other people are doing to their wing. And when you buy it, you have no idea what their true history is. Same thing with the paramotor. You really don't know a true history unless it's a paramotor pilot that posts a lot of video on YouTube, and you can go back and go, okay, this is when he got the paramotor, and I see how he flies.
Yeah.
Is it really
That's
after
a,
9
that's a
o'clock?
good point. That's a real good point. I mean,
Golly, time
the
is just
video.
rolling.
It is. Peter Stone said that he's basically asking what are the favorite frames and motors, and trying to get market sentiment and opinions. My opinion on that is that paramotor pilots tend to love whatever it is they're flying at the time. And right now, I love my Power to Fly. I mean, that's a good frame, and the Moster 185. I love that motor. So second for me would be probably Parajet Maverick, which is what I flew before the Power to Fly. So it's kind of hard to buy a bad frame these days. They're all pretty darn good.
They are. And I've been really lucky because going to fly-ins and other friends that are saying, hey, fly my gear. I've been able to fly a lot of different gear. And when it comes to paramotors and what is the best, or what is safer and stuff like that, you really have to, it's risk versus reward. The whole thing is, right? So you can get something like a flat top or the Angel that you can beat the hell out of, and you can butt land, you can turtle, basically you can just try to destroy it, and it's not going to destroy it. They're built like a tank, but they're heavy or heavier. And I don't know. And then you got the lighter ones. But if you butt land on a lighter one, or if you turtle, you're going to break a frame and break a netting. It's all risk versus reward. I would say use your school's gear and just keep an eye out and search for different pilots and go to a fly-in. There we go. Peter, go to the next fly-in. Talk to different pilots, look at their gear, watch people fly. There's always importers and schools and people that have gear at fly-ins. Go to the next fly-in and just check everything out before you go to school.
Yeah, and hook up with a local group of guys and pick their brains.
Absolutely. Go to ppgzone.com. It's like a Facebook for paramotor pilots. There's an interactive members map, so you can actually see all the pilots that are around you after you register for free. So that's something to think about too. You might have a pilot living right next to you and you don't even know it.
Make one out of conduit. No, don't make one out of conduit.
Oh well. Well, this was a lot longer than I was expecting. I was expecting to just do a quick 1 hour podcast and get to bed early because tomorrow is another early day. But I just never can seem to just make it 1 hour on these podcasts because I like to talk so much. Damn it!
I love it.
And tell stories, talk about paramotors and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, if we're not actually doing it, then we'll do the second best thing. We'll talk about doing it.
Tony Marzano said, and when you reach the Holy Grail, Dell will be blessed and you won't die. Oh my goodness. You guys are funny. Well, it is 9:15, and we've been doing this a lot longer than I was expecting. I hope that you're able to get some pretty good takeaways on this podcast today. I think the biggest one is see an instructor. Use their gear. If you don't know better, if you don't know what you don't know, go see an instructor. Talk to him. You don't have to pay any money. I'm sure that he would love to have you come to one of his free classes. I always have free classes on Saturday mornings. For everybody that doesn't know if this is what they want to do, it's come on over, see what it's all about. Talk to the other students. Look at our gear. We always bring the gear out, wings and paramotors so people can see. I would say go check things out. If you are bound and determined to buy equipment before you have training or self-train, I would say get up with a pilot in your area and talk with them and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but I want to self-train. Would you take me under your wing? Right? I mean, I don't know. If you need a used wing, I would say talk to an instructor, talk to Cloud9 or one of the places that looks at wings once a year.
Yeah, they specialize in it.
Right, they specialize in it. People, maybe they don't want their wing back because they don't want to spend the money to get it fixed. They'd rather just go buy another one. So they're just like, keep it. Then they'll fix it, they'll repair it, and then they'll sell it to someone really, really cheap.
Yep.
I think we did good today. A lot longer than I was expecting, but I always enjoy talking with everybody. So looks like we're down to 13 people watching here, but we get about 500 to 1,000 people that listen to our show on paratalk.org, or if you're searching for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcasting, you can find it on your favorite podcasting app. We're also on Amazon, we're on Audible, all the major players. You search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, you'll find us, and we get a lot of people that listen to us after the fact. Not so much on the show, because people are still flying, but here we are. Anyway, so let's go ahead and close this all out. For you out there that don't know the people on the panel, let's go ahead and chat with the people on the panel for a wee bit. Let's talk with Will Fly for a little bit. Will Fly, you've been flying for a while, and you start off with an Adamanti. Now you have a Moster 185. You got a YouTube channel. You really have done a lot in these last, what, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years and going on 400 hours. And I'm just as excited about this sport as I was when I first started. And so that's a good and bad thing. It's bad because that's all I can seem to think about. It's good because, it's just a fun sport and love the people and the camaraderie and all that. Hey, we got a really decent show coming on tomorrow night, Sean.
Yeah.
You can go to ppgshane.com. It's called Tuesday Night Hangouts. It's going to be Dave and Amy Purden
Oh, cool.
going to come on the show and talk about their awesome flying they got coming up. So if you're interested in Purdens, you're going to be attending, or you just want to know what a fly-in's all about and the intricacies of it, tune in 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Cool.
And you can check out my channel too. And you can find me on YouTube, Will Fly, or online at willflyppg.com.
Love it. And also on Wednesdays, you got an all-girl podcast from Flying Flamingo Jade. You can find her at paramotorgirl.com. So if you go there, make sure you hit that subscribe and that bell notification. And then on Thursday, something's going on. What's going on Thursday, Miss Paramom USA?
Thursday night is paraglidingtalk.com night with my son, Robert Michael. He's your awesomest host. And every week we have Sean that does the spinny winny wheel. So you always have a chance to win a prize. And I did my first tandem May 28th, and it's something experience I'll never forget with Northern Lights paramoting and paramotors, and it was a really cool experience. I the whole day was just to have two instructors help me, and they were so patient. It was so fun. Jade Lear and Eric Lear. Eric Lear was an awesome pilot. I'm going to give a shout out to him. And Jade, she helped me get up in the air. And I had the nervous Nellies at first, but once I got up there, it was all good. That was it. I'm hooked now.
That's another thing too. If you go to a fly-in and you've never flown before, you're not a pilot, you might be able to get a tandem like Linda did.
Yep. It was so fun. I'm so glad I did it. And it only made sense to do it, right? Because how many years I've been hanging with you guys, listening to everybody, watching everybody fly. And like I said, the day that I went to the fly-in, it wasn't like I just got up and said, I'm gonna jump on the trike tandem, I'm gonna go on a tandem. It was really something that you had to psych yourself up for, and before I knew it, I was sitting in that seat and off I went. And yeah, and if I came down crying, it was because it was happy tears. It was happy tears. I was just so overwhelmed and just so super excited, so proud of myself that I did it. And it'll always stay with me. So
when you can remember what day it was, you said May 28th. That's like a day that's stuck in your head. That's pretty cool when you can say the date, because I had no idea when I first realized or wanted.
Yeah, I love watching and keep watching the video, me going up in the air, and I'm just like, sometimes I'm just like, wow, that's me. I did that. So yeah, it was super fun. And I do it again in the heartbeat. So we'll see, when another opportunity comes, I'll be there. I'll get back up in the air.
We'll keep you under our wing.
There you go.
For sure. And also too, if you guys want to be on the show, just get up with Linda Anderson. You can find her by going to paramomusa.com. It'll forward over to her Facebook page. Just PM her and say, hey, I want to be on the show.
Yeah. I always forget to say that. Yeah, please, if you want to be a guest on the show, just if you can't get over at the Paramount USA, just PM me or whatever, and I'll get you all set up. Easy peasy.
Was that Stephen Goodpasser said Tucker Gott has a secret altar to Sean and said Kylo gets his ideas for good content from Sean. Aw. If you're talking about me, Sean, then yay. If you're talking about the other Sean, then whatever.
Read a little further.
Read a little further. You handle like a boss. I think you're right. What time zone are you in?
Stephen Goodpaster, Super Dell is jealous of Sean.
I didn't see that then. Oh, it's okay. Super it's Delta Sean. Well, that's because, I'm the world champion on ppgme.org. I can make a website. I can make up a website like he can and be the.
And you're the #1 podcast for Paramotors on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yep.
There you go.
You're right. I am the #1 podcast on
Alright.
Monday nights.
Numero uno.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we can't forget Jim from Canada A. He helps us out with all of our decals. So tell us a little bit about your decals.
Yeah, I can help you out with decals or calendars or checks or whatever you need, except for money. I can't print money. That's not allowed.
But he can
And,
print checks, you said, right?
but-
You just said you can print checks? Send me
Yeah.
$1 million check. All right, great.
I won't fill it in for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, Jim, I got that package that you sent me with the other
Oh,
stickers.
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I'll
good.
be sending those
You're
out to
welcome.
people.
Beautiful. So yeah, if you want any printing or you want something custom, just give me a call or check out my website, carepp.com. And that'll take you to all my social media and everything.
Oh, that reminds me. On the okay, so I went to your new page, right? And when I went
Yep.
there, something popped up and would not go away, and I couldn't look at your page anymore.
Was
couldn't
that the
tell you-
MailChimp thing?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It popped up. I couldn't get away from it. I couldn't
Okay.
even do anything on your site from my phone. But I don't know if you could do the same thing, or if you could, or you could navigate through the computer. So I forgot to tell you that. So might want to.
Yeah, there should be a little X in the top corner where you can get rid of it if it's on your phone. I should
Yeah.
just get rid of that.
Yeah. So when I go there, carepp.com. Matter of fact, everybody that's listening right now, just go to carepp.com. And as soon as I scroll up, that mail munch comes up, and now I can't get rid of it. It doesn't go anywhere. I can't hit the X. It's just there, and X doesn't work. So
Thank you for
Anyway.
letting me know that. I'll get rid of it.
okay. So if you guys are
I
listening
had that
to
happen
this,
to myself once.
what, you went to your own page and you couldn't look at your page because of that thing?
Yeah. And I thought, I need to get rid of that. But then I tried it on my laptop and it worked fine. So
Yeah, mobile version. I don't think too many people look at websites on a laptop unless you're like 50 or older, right?
right.
Us young kids, we use our phone.
Are you talking about the subscribe?
Yeah, the MailChimp
thing that
subscribe
pops
thing.
up.
Yeah, swipe
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I swipe down, then I go back to the top, then I try to scroll down, and now I can't get rid of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I can scroll up, but I can't see any content, and I can't hit the X. The X is not working. So if you're listening to this, go to carepp.com and see if this is still happening. And if it is, fill it out.
Let me know. Subscribe. Make sure you
That's-
fill in all your information, subscribe, and I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
I like
sneaky. You have to fill in your name and stuff probably to make that disappear. It probably even pops up when you're visiting other websites too.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
no, it's not a virus. It's something that we actually put on there.
No, I'm sure it's a simple fix.
So I like Care PP. What happens if you got a Care PPG.com?
Well, that goes directly to the YouTube channel.
Oh, you do got that one. That's awesome.
Oh,
So
that was
you're
a trick question.
so Care PP is Care Printing and Publishing.com, right? Or
Yes.
PP is publishing printing, right?
Care PP is my everything. It's like a landing page.
Uh-huh.
So if you go there, you can access everything.
Okay. Even your Care PPG, which is YouTube
Yes.
Paramotor Shenanigans. And you're up to what flight now?
152.
Holy smokes, you're catching up to me.
Not.
No, probably not.
Awesome.
You probably do 152 in a couple months.
It's not uncommon for me to burn through 20 gallons of gas over a weekend by flying morning, noon, and night. Yeah, I get a lot of flying. I just like to fly. I really like to fly. If I don't have students, I'm flying. If I have students, I'll show them how to fly. You know, I'll go fly real quick and come back in for a landing. I'll show them different things too when I'm flying, because it's just easier. It's neat to see somebody fly. So it's like I'll go up there and I'll come around. I'll do a spiral or big ears or something, a wing over, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." Then I come in for a swoop, and I gently come in and go, boop, just like a butterfly. And I'm like, "That's how you land, like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Don't want to sting like a bee. That hurts." So anyway, it's 9:30, so let's go ahead and call it a night. You guys have been amazing. Thank you very much, Will, for hanging out, and Paramount USA, Linda Anderson, and Jim from Canada A and his maple syrup smelling money.
Thank you, chatters. I appreciate you. Much love. We'll be here come back next Monday night. We have Matt Minyard in the house
Matt
with
Minyard.
Paramotor Louisiana. And I'm looking at his page here, and he works at ITV Wing. So y'all got to jump in the chat and don't miss out, because it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yes. So.
Matt Minyard, I heard, can fly a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, just a little.
Well, he's been flying for a week or two, but I've heard his name.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, for people that that don't know, Matt Minyard is a well-known name in the community, and he flies a lot, and he has lots of skill.
Yeah, he's a super guy. I mean, he has frequented paragliding talk in the past, so I've actually known him for years already, because he followed Robert's show, and they're good friends, and I thought, yeah, it'd be really fun to get him on our show. So I just did my magic, and here you go.
Did you call Matt a super guy? I don't know if you'd like that very
Super
much.
That's just it. It must be a Michigan thing. Yeah, super guy.
I thought it was a Dell thing.
All this super stuff, I know. Dell's a good pilot. I mean, he's a damn good pilot. I've seen him. I watch his videos when he's doing stuff. He's a damn good pilot.
No doubt.
No doubt, he's a damn good pilot. And I will leave it at
Did
that.
Did you see that video of Jordan the other day?
Jordan.
He was Jordan Shanzi. He was kiting, and he was walking. He climbed a pole with using his ankles.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I'd love to try that.
I would love laminar wind by the ocean also. I would be probably even a better pilot if I had laminar wind from the ocean, but I don't. I'm inland in Arkansas with weird wind, And that's what I fly in, weird wind.
which I think would probably make a better pilot.
I think so too.
No?
I mean, I've heard a lot of people that would go down to training on the coast. You know, not just him, but anybody that trains on the coast. You got that really good laminar wind, and you know, people come go down there. They'll be able to pop up the wing. It's like, wow, this is great, it's so easy. And you know, they do their training and they go fly. Then they go back home, and they have no idea how to do a forward inflation because they have no wind there. You know, and then when they do have wind, it's not a nice laminar wind, it's crazy wind, and you know, they don't do a really good reverse and they have issues. I've heard that a lot. But anyway, like I said, I've had a great evening. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you tomorrow at PPG Shane's show with who and what are they doing?
It's Amy and Dave Purden.
Talking about Purden. If you want to go to Dave Purden's Flying, this is probably a podcast you want to listen to.
Most certainly.
Awesome.
All right. Y'all be safe.
Y'all have a good one. Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa, iFlyParamotors.com and PPGGrandpa.com. You can find me there. And we'll see you tomorrow on PPG Shane. Peace out.
Good
Good
night.
night.
What a good show. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Did I get the last word in?
What's that?